everyone, it's Kim Smith here from Alterknit Universe and Articles Happy. You may know me as Kim Smith Happy all over the interwebs. If you've never been on my channel before, welcome. If you have, today's Vlogmas episode is going to be more like a mini podcast episode. So I'm going to go through all of my some of my usual segments, share what I'm making, what I'm working on, new yarn that I've gotten, stuff like that. So some of you may remember the 12 days of Whipmas from my Vlogmas that I did last year or the year before. I can't remember. Everything's running into each other nowadays. But this is going to be very similar to that. A very chill, sit down with me after work kind of thing. The shop's closed. We're just chilling, chatting about our projects. I am a tired face. My words may not always come as quickly as they usually do. And that sort of stuff. For those of you that are new here, hi, I'm Kim. I run an ethical local yarn store just outside of Bristol. It's called Alterknit Universe, and everything we stock in store has to be natural, recycled, local, or ethically sourced. And I try and continue that into my personal life as well with all my personal stash and my personal projects and things like that. So, without further ado, we have some projects to share. In my last one, I spoke about my northeasterly blankets. I've got a sock and a DK. Those are still like hanging out. I can't remember exactly how far I was the last time I shared this with you, but we've got, this is what we're looking at here. So it's not terribly large, but I feel like I have added a bit onto the length of it going up this way. I think I maybe added a couple of these. Yeah, I'm still really enjoying it, and for my advent this year I very much considered doing another one, but I don't need another blanket. So for those of you who haven't watched the previous podcast, or if you just want a reminder, this is the northeasterly blanket, and I will post the designer and everything up on screen. And I'm doing this blanket completely out of my recycled yarn, which is actually behind me right now, and the white here is West Yorkshire Spinner's Signature 4-ply. So this one is all sock yarn. Another project that I have on the go at the moment, it's actually almost finished and it is a brand new project, is a pair of fingerless mittens for my lovely partner Carl. Now this holiday season, this Halloweeny season, Halloween is my birthday. It's my favorite time of the year. First of all, I'm just gonna get it out there. I am a witch at heart. I love everything to do with pumpkins, witches, magic, Halloween, ghosts, everything like that is my favorite thing ever. And to make it a little special, it was my 30th birthday this year. And obviously I couldn't have like a big party or anything because of the situation everyone's in. Carl and I decided we were going to try and watch as many spooky films as possible, and so we made a list, and one of them was Sweeney Todd, which is such a fun musical. As we were watching it, like it's been a long time since I watched it, we noticed that the main character had on fingerless mittens, and I saw them and I said, ooh, those look really nice. It looks like they're done in moss stitch. And Carl was like, I could probably do with a pair of those. So I decided to crack out some 4-ply gray. It's got like a little bit of a sort of heather to it. And it was something that we had stocked in the shop. We had some left over. They don't make it anymore. And I was like, okay, this is the perfect color. And I just kind of ad-libbed this pattern. I've made fingerless and fingerful mitts before, so I knew the general process. And obviously I wanted them to be moss stitch to pick up on that sort of Victorian vibe. It's very fun to knit with. I have the second pair here. I've actually just taken the needles out of the top because I've actually gone a bit too far up the hand, and I need to bring it down a little bit to start putting the fingers in. So I've gone too far. So yeah, they fit really, they fit like a glove. They fit really well. I got Carl to try it on as I was going, which really helped. That's one bonus of us both being stuck in the house all the time, is that if I'm making something for him, he can just try it on. I'm not a huge fan of moss stitch, the process of it. It's a lot of knit one, purl one. I mean, the whole thing is knit one, purl one. And it's very easy to get into a rib flow. So there's the possibility of mistakes and having to rib back. So I've been finding this quite slow to knit. Like if I had done this in stocking stitch, it would have been done weeks ago. But there's no denying this the finished look of it is just so nice. I'm really glad that I'm taking my time with it and spending the extra effort to do this beautiful stitch. And the gauge is really small. It just feels very much like a Victorian garment. And one of the things I love about making things that might have been in history is that you feel connected to that time period and the people that also might have been making something similar to this. Emma from Woolly Mammoth Fibers talked about that a bit in one of her podcasts, and that really resonated with me. I've never been able to put my finger on why I love making sort of historical garments. This is not a historical garment, but it's inspired by it. So anyway, I'm rambling a bit about this, but I'm very happy with it. And it will soon be a finished pair of gloves. I've done each of the fingers individually. Again, I've just like measured where his fingers are, and I've actually created a little bit of extra space there for his fingers because it's such a tight knit that I really wanted his fingers to have a little support there. So yes, I'm very pleased. Fingerless mittens. The next work in progress I have is actually an Advent work in progress, and I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have seen this on Vlogmas yet because I think I started it after I started filming for Vlogmas. But basically, I'm taking an old Advent calendar that I got last year or the year before. I think it was last year. I'm not quite sure, but it's by the Dye Shack, which is one of the indie dyers that we have in the shop. She is relatively local. She also suffers with chronic illnesses, so we're very much kindred spirits in that manner. She does acid dyeing, and she did a lovely Advent calendar. I got the 5-gram minis, and they are dyed in a sort of gradient so that you don't get like a random color every day throughout the month. As I opened the Advent calendar, it slowly, like the colors kind of blended into one another. So sometimes you got like really crazy yarns that had like purple and green and like specks of blue in it, and you're like, how, what? And then you open the next day and you're like, oh, that's because it's moving into like a green. Let me show you. Okay, so this is my box. It's a little worse for wear because it's been hanging around in the house for a year or two. And I've been opening it up every day. So this is the Advent calendar. Ooh, I've got a pair of socks in here because I was measuring. But it came in little baggies. Each day had its own little baggie and its own little mini. So if we take a look, this will be tomorrow's baggie. Oh, I just hit myself in the face with the box. I am a professional. Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. So it comes with a little baggie. And there were some add-ons and stuff in there, which is super cute. But yeah, so it comes with these tiny little minis. They're really tiny little 5-gram babies. And I have been taking those. And I have been knitting this monstrosity, which is actually really pretty and I'm really excited. But I call it a monstrosity because, well, first of all, the colors kind of remind me of like Monsters and Halloween at the moment. And also because the other sock is not going to match at all. So they're going to be mixed match. I started off, a little bit of fluff there. I started off taking half of the first day and I kept half of it in the packet, and then I cast on with that ball. And then I started with the second day. So I would do like a line of day 1 and a line of day 2, a line of day 1, a line of day 2. And that's how that happened. And then as I finished off day 1, I went ahead and just added in day 3. So then you got a section here, which is day 2 and day 3, and then day 3 and day 4, day 4 and day 5, etc., etc., etc. I haven't done a separate heel. I just carried on in that manner. For the short rows where I was working back and forth, I had to do like a row and then back again in one color, and then a row and back again in the second color. But I think it actually looks really nice. I am using the pattern, gosh, I can't remember what it's called. I'm so bad at remembering pattern names, but I'll put it up here. It's actually like a Christmas pattern. It's got like a tree pattern on it, but I'm not doing the tree. I'm just using the pattern as a basic pattern for the sock. And I did the short row heel, which I'm kind of regretting now because looking at the picture, the flap and gusset looks so good. So I'm like, maybe I should just make a flap and gusset on the other sock and then they'll really not match. Some of you out there are going to be rolling your eyes. Yes, it would be ridiculous, but it's not like I've never made socks with the wrong heels before. I definitely have. Sometimes by the time I get around to the second sock, I've forgotten what heel I've done. And so I just do whatever makes me happy. I mean, they fit, so I'm calling it a win. But yeah, it's really fun to see how the colors are changing throughout the days here. I'm not going day by day. This is technically the 6th of December when I'm filming this, and I've just started on the 10th day of color. But knowing me and my knitting speed and my knitting mojo and knowing that I have to edit all of these vlogs, I am expecting to fall behind on this as we go throughout the month. So I am taking this little win as I can. So those are my Christmas Advent socks. I have completely forgotten what color is coming next. So it is a surprise for me every time I finish a color and have to add on a new one, which is great because now my Advent not only was a great surprise the first year I opened it, but I am re-experiencing that joy all over again. I know some of you will be in the same boat as me, but financially this year has been pretty hard. So I didn't feel like I was able to buy an Advent calendar. So I thought this would be kind of an ingenious way to make an old one go a bit farther. Plus, I'm sure, like me, all of you have stashes of stuff. I love this idea. I feel like next year, if finances are still a bit difficult, I might just take a bunch of stuff from my stash and roll off 5 gram minis because no one's going to miss 5 grams from a ball of yarn. Well, I won't. Later on when I come to use it, it'll be like, oh, okay, it's just 5 grams. And and then make my own Advent calendar. They're so fun. But also, I am drooling over everyone's Advent calendars that I'm seeing online, especially Woolly Mammoth Fiber Company and Hannah Corner of Craft, who... It's just so exciting to see the D&D inspired yarns every day. I'm really kicking myself that I didn't get in on that. But anyway, the next thing I have to share is actually a finished object. And I don't have it with me because it was a gift and I gave it away already. But I do have photos of the process and photos of the finished object on the gorgeous recipient. So I will leave this bit now to future Kim to edit in and pop those pictures in, and I will just talk over the top really quickly. So it was my friend's birthday and we were in the middle of lockdown. I was feeling super icky. I had no creative mojo whatsoever, and then a mutual friend of ours was texting me and was like, oh, I need help finding a present for Mel and I don't know what to get her and like what shop should I buy from and all that kind of stuff because she's in Australia at the moment. And I was like, you know what would be kind of cool is like to knit her a jumper. So she helped me with this idea and I helped her with the other gift idea that she was going to get her. So I got to collaborate a little bit with my friend across the ocean, and I had a bunch of chunky stuff in the back that I was like, this will be good for gifts. I found a really fun crop top pattern and I just went for it. It was kind of crazy to make a jumper for a friend because I didn't know if she was gonna like the color or the fit, but between the two of us we found something that Mel ended up liking, which is great, and it kickstarted my knitting mojo back again, which was honestly a godsend. So although I knit the jumper for Mel, I kind of knit it for myself as well. What can I say? I'm a selfish knitter. Okay, the last thing I have to share with you today are 2 stash acquisitions that were gifted to me for my birthday. So I got some presents for my birthday from my lovely friends, which was so nice. First of all, let's do this one first. First of all, I got this, which is a little kit that was made up. Let me find out who it was. So it's made up by lucylocketland.co.uk, and it is a pattern and some yarn that is inspired by a dear friend who used to come to our knitting group and also used to go to this ladies knitting group, and who passed away during lockdown. Really sad, but this has been amazing. I think I spoke a little bit about her on the last podcast because I'm crocheting a giant dragon and I'm naming her Liz in memory of Liz, who also inspired these pairs of socks. I'm not like a huge fan of these colors in my personal life and wardrobe, but when I look at them, they really do remind me of Liz. So I'm really happy that Mom picked these out for me. And yeah, I'll show you the label here. Brilliant Liz sock set, which is amazing, and it's got this cute little logo on it, and it says, "In memory of my lovely friend Liz." And £3 from each kit sold will be donated to Mind, which is an organization here in the UK that focuses on mental health. So that's really amazing. I'm excited to try this pattern because, as our lovely friend Liz was so obsessed with trying new techniques and challenging herself and all that kind of stuff, this pair of socks has a bunch of techniques in here, including a braid and color work and a funky edge. Yeah, so I'm really happy, and it's kind of amazing to see how much she touched other people's lives as well. Like, enough that someone worked through their grief and made this pattern. I'm getting a little bit tearful thinking about it, how one person can affect so many people's lives. But thank you, Mom, so much for getting me this. It is cherished and loved, and every time I see these little colors peeking at me from my stash box, I get like a warm, fuzzy feeling when I think about her. So that's very exciting, and I don't know when I will cast it on, but I'm excited to try it. The next thing that I got for my birthday is a skein of yarn from my dear friend Lucy, who I call Lulu. We met through my knit group that we have at the shop, and then she actually introduced me to Critical Role way back when. She's one of the reasons why I got super obsessed with Dungeons and Dragons. So thank you, Lulu. And she got me some really sweet gifts from independent makers. She is such a sweetheart. She got me some little spooky kitten stitch markers. Wow, you can't see that at all. Let me get it out of the bag. They got little kitties on them. So that's fun. That's really sweet. That's from Candy Skull Crafts, which is really nice. And then from yarnunique.co.uk, she got me this amazing skein. It is superwash merino at 25% nylon, super lovely and squishy, and I believe she's a local dyer. Lulu is one of those people that really listens to you when you talk about the things that you like, and then when it's time for buying gifts or something, she remembers those things and then gets you something that is so thoughtful, and I don't know how she does it, but it's amazing. So yeah, this is super kind of her to get me this beautiful skein, and it's yellows and mustards with bits of rust and brown, and it's just, oh, it's so lovely. So this will probably, I imagine, end up in a shawl, because I have a lot of other yarn that is going to go well with this. So I can see that becoming a shawl. But in the meantime, I'm cuddling it. And what's cool is I'd never heard of this dyer before. So, and Lulu knew that. She knew that I'd never heard of her before. And so now she's introduced me to a new dyer, which is also just a gift in itself. So thank you, Lulu, for that. So something else I'm working on is a sample for the shop. This is the West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply in the Sparkle Silent Night colorway. This is their Christmas colorway from this year. It is all different kinds of blues in a variegated yarn with a bunch of sparkles. See if I can get a nice close-up there of the sparkles. See if they'll focus. It might not. But yeah, it's really pretty. I'm not, like, blue is not my favorite color, so I'm not overly enthused about this. But it is really soft and lovely, and gosh, the signature 4-ply is so nice. The sparkle in it as well doesn't make the yarn crunchy or anything, which I was really pleased about, because they also came out with a sparkle with their Fairy Lights colorway, and that seems to have been quite popular as well, so that's good. It's nice to know that you can make a sparkle base that is just as soft as the regular base. So yeah, this is cool. I know some of you out there will be totally loving this color, and that is fantastic. So we have these on the online shop at the moment, both the Fairy Lights and the Silent Night, with their adjoining mini skeins. We try and find 5 colors that match each colorway, and we make minis, and then you can go ahead and just grab one for the heels and toes, or you can grab a whole bunch and do some like crazy fun stuff with it. As far as I know, we're the only shop that does West Yorkshire Spinners mini skeins, and they have been a real hit. Even the West Yorkshire Spinners rep was like, this is amazing. So yeah, please feel free to go over to the online shop and check that out. They have been selling like hotcakes. I'm not gonna do a Get Nerdy With Me section today, because you're getting nerdy with me pretty much every other day in Vlogmas, and I have a D&D game that I need to get to. So I'm gonna love and leave you. And thank you so much for watching. As always, if you want to comment or like or share this video, that really helps YouTube get my video out there, which helps with views and business stuff, and means I can keep making awesome videos for you guys. And also, I get a warm fuzzy feeling when I see all those thumbs up. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having a fantastic Vlogmas. And let me know what you're working on down in the comments. I'll see you later. Bye! yeah, I just got a bit sad thinking about how Liz is not here anymore. But I'm okay. Why are you wonky? I feel like you need to burp all the time. That's going in the bloopers. No makeup, no nothing. So then you've got a section here, which is day 2. I love you.
I love you.